Bugli shubana tintivo shitimonola shitino hihi kushinina le. Now, hey there, everybody, especially students. What you just heard to you was complete nonsense. Well, the problem that we're going to look at today was a simple problem about place value, but the way that it was shown to us was shown in a way that it almost seemed like if it was a different language. And so if we don't learn to speak math in different languages, we're going to struggle when it comes to simple things, even place value. So we really need to work on place value that's grade level appropriate. I have a mathematics chart that's appropriate for fourth grade and up, and a different one for third grade and lower. The primary chart is for my third grade and lower. My advanced chart is for fourth grade and higher. I'm going to be doing a third grade question. It's a readiness question, which means it's for fourth grade a supporting standard. So this, teachers and students, and for those of you parents that are trying to help your kids understand place value, is real important to understand how to read numbers in more than one way so that when we see them in a math problem, we're not going to struggle, because the one that we're going to look at today in the 2019 test for fourth grade for Texas, only 32% of the kids got it correct. And that's across the whole state. Regardless of population, it didn't matter. That means only 1 out of every 3 kids in Texas understood the simplest thing in the world that we thought would be simplest, place value. So let me show you a way to help you understand how to make it through a problem when it comes to place value, so that we don't make the same mistake that practically 300,000 students did when it came to the question like this from the third grade test, question 27. As I mentioned, only 32% of the kids in Texas got it correct. It came from reporting category 1. It was student expectation 3.2a, being that it's readiness. That means that it would be possibly given in fourth grade. So us fourth grade teachers and third grade teachers need to practice place value. So I highly recommend you use my mathematics chart, because it comes with lots of combinations. We'll look at it in a moment. We have our rules acronym, which is part of the mathematics chart. Just a reminder, rules is reading the question and problem softly or loudly, not silently, underlining and understanding the keywords in the question, looking for and labeling those numbers and words back in the problem, noticing brackets instead of underlining for the problem, evaluating the problem, stopping to think, what strategy do I need to make so I can make a plan, and then execute, not ugly, my strategies. Start eliminating all the extra information and eliminating and explaining, pretending to be a plane, all the wrong answers. And then doing what I call the John Travolta from Staying Alive. Ah, 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 select one, select one. Search for errors. And then, because this is a multiple choice question, we've got to decide on our Scantron. Since this is question number 8, 8 is an even number, so anything that's even on a star test, in Texas at least, can only have F, G, H, or J as a response, or it's a grid response where you have to plug it in to a blank place value chart like the one that we're going to be using on my mathematics chart. So let's take a look at our question, because there is nothing here but a question. Which answer choice does not describe the number 8,000. And so comma means pause. So I'm going to grab my imaginary ball here. I'm going to say 8,000, and I bounced a fake ball on a table to make myself think I need to pause at every thousand, million, and billion. And as you can see, we have billions, millions, and thousands that need commas. You can see them there. And anything beyond that, when we're getting into less than whole numbers, we'll be talking about decimals and fractions and percents. Okay, so what I did was say, okay, let's make sure that we understand we're looking for the not. So I highly suggest you teach your students, write the word same 3 times and place 3 X's as you decide which 3 are the same as the number that you have there, and try to figure out which one is the not, the one that is not the same. And so this is sort of going to be like what we would call a guess and check. That's the way I would evaluate and solve the problem. So we're going to break it down into pieces. The sum of 8,000 and 25 tens. So when we look at A, I circled A because you have a choice A, B, C, D, or F, G, H, J, since we're doing, oh, it looks like I did that wrong. It should be, let me fix that real quick. It should be F, G, H, and J. So you see how easy it is to make a mistake. If you did that in the problem in the book and that was an accident, you could also make that mistake when it comes to the Scantron, and then you would end up getting all the numbers after that lined up wrong. So we'll fix that little error. The sum of 8,000 and it says 25 tens. So first we should do it exactly the way we read it. There's 8,000, there it is, and 25 in the tens. Well, if you have 25 tens and you're teaching your kids correctly, 25 tens means 2 hundreds and 5 tens. So 25 tens is the same thing as 2 hundreds, 5 tens, and because there's nothing else, we have to place a 0 there. We can't leave it empty. And if you look, 8,250 with the comma is the same as the number that they were showing. So we're going to write same there and eliminate letter F. Okay. G says the sum of 8,250 tens. So let's see what that looks like first. 8,000, comma is 1,000, 250 tens. Well, in the same way, we can't fit more than 1 digit in each place value. So 50 tens is the same as 5 100s and 0 tens. 50, if you look up there, tens. That's the tens place. So since you already had 200s, you're going to add 500 to the 200s that were already there. So our new number is going to be 8,700, because that 5 moved over, and a lot of kids will probably make a mistake here. And so 8,700 is not the same as 8,250. So I believe that's our answer. So we're going to write not with a question mark, and we'll place a check mark that we think this is the one that's not the same. But we have to check all 4. Let's look at letter H. The sum of 8,000, breaking it apart here, so your kids can go from left to right, section by section. 200 and 5 tens. So let's look at that. There's my 8,000. Here's my 200, and there's my 5 tens. And we said that if we have a number left over with nothing in the uh, ones place, we've got to put something, so 0 ones. So since that looks exactly the same as letter A, which looks the same as the question, we're going to say same and cross that off. That means we've already crossed off 2 sames and we have 1 not so far. Let's look at letter H. The sum of 8 thousands, comma, 8 with a comma, 251s. And so that first step is that problem. So let's take a look at what it's going to look like first. 8,000, which was there, and then all it said next was 8,000. Let me double check. Oh, I'm sorry. Didn't write that clearly there. 8,251s. You got to put it where it says first. And we said that 51s is the same thing as 5 tens. So I'm going to move that 5 over, and we can still see 51s is the same thing as 5 with a 0, 50. So since 8,250 is the same as letters C and A, we know that we're going to eliminate 3 that were the same, which was, let me get my pencil so you can see, F was the same, H was the same, and so was J. So the only one that we had left that we can select is G. So I bubbled it in, and then I placed a G right next to the 8, so that, as I've mentioned before, that the 8 and the G in the book can match the 8 and the C in the Scantron, so that we don't make a huge mistake. So I would suggest that you practice lots of numbers using, I would suggest that you can use these same digits and place things like in a different way. If you can extend beyond the problem, you can perhaps say 80,000s. Now, this would only be partially written correct because we're seeing nothing here but words. So you'd have to teach the kids, what does 80,000s? Well, it's just a Y, just one letter difference can change everything. And so if I was to add a Y right there, it would still be not the same, because 80,000 is not the same as 8,000. So you can give another example, or you could do an extension of a couple other ones that would not work, or a couple others that would. And so that's how I would solve question number 8. Just in case you were wondering, at the front of the test, I believe I kind of showed the percentage. Let's take a look and see if that was the lowest one. And let me double check with you here. Question 8. As you can see, we've already worked through the first 7 with you one at a time. For those of you that purchased the 3rd grade math surgery, this was the lowest performing, so I highly suggest, even though it's the easiest objective and it is readiness, apparently the kids did not go into 4th grade understanding how to write place value those 2 different ways. So that's one way that I suggest you do it, and create lots of practice for them. I highly suggest that if you get the laminate, either the digital copy of my mathematics chart or the hard copy that I can send by mail, you laminate them like I did, so that you can have your kids use the actual mathematics charts as a practice way of filling in your grids, because as you and I know, teachers, many students struggle with grid answers. What I usually do is have somebody do a little bit extra work, because you can only get so much off if you use like a napkin or a Kleenex. Sometimes you can get the rest of the letters off, and that way if you assign this to one student, they can be using it over and over. If you end up working with decimals and fractions and percents, you would just move to this half. If you are talking about a checklist, you saw the rules acronym. And the fourth page is, this is a simpler version of my keywords chart, but the one that you would get is a little bit more advanced than this. When to add, subtract, multiply, or divide. So there you have it. Our next video will be, of course, questions number 9, and another one will be question number 10. Go ahead and click on the link below. I would love to have you purchase the 3rd grade math surgery, because if you don't, whatever program you've been using these last couple of years, I can tell from an outsider that whatever has been being used was not working. So try to explain differently to your students. Try to remember that they need extra time practicing a skill with place value. Don't assume that they're going to just simply understand how to do place value. Don't give them an assignment. Show them how to do it. Guide them and let them practice with you. Thank you, guys. God bless. Please share this video. If you're seeing it in YouTube, go ahead and click on like and subscribe. And hopefully we will get lots of students doing lots better on place value. As you can see, I'm in the upper right hand corner of my screen. This is the 3rd grade recorded webinar. It's $10 for all 10 problems and all the videos that come with it. And you get the strategies, the full color math posters you saw, the graphic organizers for place value, the problem solving checklist, the keywords operation chart. Email me at runwriting_doctor@yahoo.com. If you want to join my math club and you haven't already, it's called Come On Sense Math under Facebook. You can find a lot of my stuff on Teachers Pay Teachers under the right prescription. The right, not right hand, but the right as in the verb, or the adjective. This is the right, something you can do, but it's the prescription that's going to work well for your kids. God bless you guys, and have a great evening.